Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. My name's Don Arleth, and you're watching World News. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk will take part in the meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and European leaders ahead of the meeting with Vladimir Putin in Alaska. The news was confirmed by the Polish government spokesperson, Szłapka. Szłapka said Poland firmly opposes any U.S.-Russia talks on Ukraine that exclude Kyiv. He emphasized that Europe must act in solidarity and be directly involved in all discussions affecting the region. According to European Commission spokesperson Ariana Podesta, the initiative to talk with Trump was brought forward by German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. The discussions will also include Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. The EU also has announced it will push for security guarantees for Ukraine, including Kyiv's ability to defend itself in the future. EU leaders issued a statement on Ukraine following an emergency meeting of foreign ministers. This comes ahead of the Trump-Putin summit in Alaska coming up on Friday. They thanked Trump for working to end the war with Russia, but urged that Ukraine be included in any peace talks. All EU member states, excluding Hungary, have signed the statement.
The people of Ukraine must have the freedom to decide their future. The path to peace in Ukraine cannot be decided without Ukraine. Meaningful negotiations can only take place in the context of a ceasefire or reduction of hostilities. Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine has wider implications for European and international security. We share the conviction that a diplomatic solution must protect Ukraine's and Europe's vital security interests. The European Union, in coordination with the US and other like-minded partners, will continue to provide political, financial, economic, humanitarian, military, and diplomatic support to Ukraine, as Ukraine is exercising its inherent right of self-defense. It will also continue to uphold and impose restrictive measures against the Russian Federation.
Russia is reportedly preparing for a new offensive in Ukraine ahead of a meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin on Friday. President Zelensky said the new push shows Moscow has no desire to reach a peace deal. Our correspondent Alex Cadier has this report concerning the developments on the front line.
Well, we've heard from the Ukrainian president in the last few moments that he says Russia is preparing another offensive on this war's eastern front. We're here with a private company which provides drones to the Ukrainian armed forces for this fight. Now, we also understand from reports from military analysts on the front line that Russian forces have pierced through one of the Ukrainian lines, getting about 17 kilometers through those lines. Now, we do not know much more information than that. We do not know exactly how much of an impact this will have, but it does seem the Ukrainian forces will have to relocate some of their troops, some of their forces, to push back this offensive. We also understand the Russians have reached the roads between Dobrepilya and the very heavily fortified city of Kramatorsk. So what we see in Kyiv, the Ukrainian president saying that the Russian forces are pushing forward. Also on the ground, the first significant breakthrough from Russian forces since May, June, July. So clearly this desire from so-called desire from the Russian side to engage in peace talks, not backed up on the ground. This situation certainly a concern for the Ukrainian forces, but the next few hours, the next few days will be crucial to see if Ukraine can push back this new Russian advance. In Ukraine, I'm Alex Cadier for TVP World.
Europe's defense industry is booming. A new report by the Financial Times shows factories are expanding at a record speed to meet rising demand. Since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, European defense manufacturing plants have tripled their expansion rate. Satellite data reveals over 7 million square meters of new development across 150 sites, mostly focused on ammunition and missile production. The largest growth is in Hungary, where Rheinmetall and N7 Holding are building a major ammunition plant. Rheinmetall's stock has surged 1,000% in recent weeks, and the company is now opening factories in Ukraine. EU programs like ASAP and Rearm Europe are injecting billions to boost production and support Ukraine. NATO allies also raised defense spending targets to 5% of GDP, marking a major shift in Europe's military posture. A German aerospace company has suspended one of its employees under suspicion of contacts with far-right activists and Russian institutions. Leibher Aerospace Lindenberg works with the German military but is not involved in any classified projects, the company said, according to press reports. The company is a subsidiary of Leibher Multinational, developing integrated systems for the aviation industry, such as flight control and gear systems. The employee has been placed on leave. The South Germany-based company has said it's launched an internal investigation and is treating the allegations seriously. The company was made aware of the workers' alleged interactions with Russian-tied circles and the German Reich Citizens movement, which denies the legitimacy of the post-war Federal Republic of Germany. Romania's ruling coalition appears to be at risk after a statement from Sorin Grindeanu, the interim leader of the Social Democratic Party. If his party were to leave the Liberal Social Democratic Alliance, the government would lose its parliamentary majority.
The party's main target for reform is the size of state agencies, including cuts to the number of workers and streamlining governmental funding. It also seeks a number of anti-corruption measures aimed at eliminating special pensions and reducing the number of agencies. These moves are supposed to reflect the party's concerns over inequality and corruption within the political system. The country has been battling internally as it faces austerity measures recently that sparked public unrest. They came into effect at the beginning of August, but have not redirected the large economic deficit yet, which is a rising concern for the ruling coalition. The EU has been pressuring the Romanian government to implement changes to their fiscal policy.
A military drone washed ashore on Monday in Hamani Beach in Bulgaria's Sozopol. The area has since been cordoned off, though both military and police personnel are on the site. There is still no official information on how the aircraft ended up on this busy resort town beach.
I was doing my morning workout. I went to the far end and saw it. It was in the water. I realized it wasn't a toy and decided I should pull it ashore. I thought it would be better to have it on the beach than in the water to avoid any incidents. I didn't really think about whether it could be dangerous.
People are looking out for the safety of the beachgoers, so it's normal for it to be removed. God forbid there could have been an explosive.
Migrants in Greece with rejected asylum claims will be required to wear ankle monitors as part of planned measures to speed up deportations. According to the country's migration minister, the measure is set to be implemented before the end of the year.
The electronic monitoring of migrants would be enforced during a 30-day compliance period granted to migrants after their asylum claims have been rejected. The Greek government is also considering a deportation bonus of €2,000 for those who willingly comply with the new restrictions. The measures, which include mandatory jail terms for defying deportation orders, will be submitted to Parliament next month. The restrictions are a part of the Greek government's move to curb migration, including a recent ban on asylum claims from migrants arriving by sea from North Africa.
Polish-born freediver Mateusz Malina has made history. The daredevil athlete was underwater for over 7 minutes, reaching a depth of 210 meters, setting another world record and winning a gold medal at the 2025 World Games in Chengdu, China. The rather unusual sport has been part of Malina's life since a very young age. In his 20s, he moved to Krakow, where he started regularly diving in a nearby lake. Now, the 39-year-old is a veteran on the world stage, holding multiple world records in different types of breathtaking underwater competitions and winning against no one but his own limitations. At present, Malina is a world champion in 3 other free diving competitions. And that concludes this edition of World News. Thanks for joining us, and stay with us for more here on TVP World.